and that way is, of course, with a little bit of ActionScript. What I'm going to do is pop back out to the stage here really quick, scene 1, keep the timeline up there, and go over here to our OK button code. Remember we had that in frame 30. Let's open up the action frames. We have the OK button adding an event listener and a function there. I'm going to grab all of that and hit Control Copy, and then go into each of our cards and start with MC Chrome card. And right on the first part of the first layer, make sure that the code layer covers the entire timeline, which it does, no problem. Go into the first block there, into the action frame, and paste that code to assign the event listener and do the function from the OK button. That might seem a little weird because we don't want code for the OK button in here, but what we're going to do is use the keyword this, and that's going to refer to the movie clip that is executing the action. So this.add event listener, we're going to add a listener to this movie clip, and we'll give it a function. Let's call it function card click OK, and then make function OK card click, make it function card click just go to play. So when you click on the card, it'll run the animation to flip over. Now, because we've put this information into the movie clip itself, the one I just did was a Chrome card, I think. If we go to the game board, here our array of cards, and pick any one of the Chrome cards, just select things, yeah, there's a Chrome card, and have a look at its actions, and you see it has this add event listener in it. But of course, go back to the game board, all of the Chrome cards are going to have that. Let's see if I can find another Chrome card. There's one. Look at its actions frame. Come here. Of course, it also has the listener and the function. Now, declaring that function a whole pile of times might not work with ActionScript 3. Let's just go ahead and test that and see what it does. Play. That seems to be okay. And what do you know? The Chrome cards flip over. Fine and dandy. Awesome. The other cards don't. You can tell which one's a Chrome card because it'll flip over. The other ones won't. Oh, look at that. We found all our Chrome cards. We're so great. Alright. But now we know that that code works. So let's go back into the Actions panel. And because it says this time, and it's just function card click, we can just copy that without having to worry about changing any of the text or anything. We've already dropped it into Chrome card. Let's go into Firefox card, into the Actions frame, paste that exact same code. Let's go into the Safari card, Actions frame, paste that exact same code, and let's give that a test. Go right to the play screen, and we can flip over all of our cards. How sweet is that? And because it's a on release, it's just play. If they're stopped and you hit play, they'll play the next part of the animation, which is flipping back over to the other side, no matter what side happens to be facing them at the time. Fun times. Now we're just going to make a couple of a little bit cooler animations for our game board. You saw when we tested here, we hit play, just sort of slides in, ho-hum, a little bit boring. And I liked the way that staggered effect looked. So let's go to our game board, which is essentially just our array of these movie clips. And let's select them all and do something a little cool and distribute to layers. So we're going to see a whole pile of layers here for our various cards. Alright, let's go out to, we're working at 24 frames a second, so let's just do say 20 and hit insert keyframe. I want to actually select everything at level 20, so let's shrink the stage here for a minute and select all of the frame 20 and hit insert keyframe. Alright, There's nothing on layer 0 anymore. Everything is in these distributed layers here, so we can actually get rid of layer 0, I think. Delete layer. If we need it later, we can always bring it back. And I wonder if I can select all of these at once and say create motion tweens, and apparently I can. And let's grab these. I wonder if I can grab all of them. Probably. Have a look at the stage again. Yeah, we have all of these objects selected. That's fine. At the square one, let's change their alpha to null. Okay. Let's have a look at that tween. They'll slowly fade in. That's cool. But what would be even cooler is if, whoops, now I don't actually want to select, I want to drag. You go there, and you go here. And what I'm going to do is just drag these out to sort of staggered, varied positions on the timeline bar. And what that's going to do is make it so that some of these don't technically exist until a certain point, and then come in invisible and slowly fade up to be a perfectly normal visible game board when they'll get to the end. La 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 la. Just take a second here. And that's probably more time than I really needed to spend on it. But let's bring the stage back up and have a look at that effect by just scrubbing the timeline. So it starts off with everything invisible, and then we have cards sort of popping in and fading in, and that looks a lot cooler. Alright, that's an interesting animation for our card to have, but let us go on our screens to our game screen and do something interesting with our actual game board. We see now that the game board is mostly invisible because those few cards that do actually exist at that point in the timeline are alpha 0, or completely transparent, and the rest of them that don't exist don't even show up in the bounding box. But let's make this animated. So we're sitting here in the game screen, which includes not just the game board but also that background. And let's give it an animation that's going to take the same amount of time as its fade in and then stop. So we'll go to the stage,